Welcome to United Community Bank. This session is intended for our business online banking customers who initiate domestic wires or international wires in US dollar. So direct your browser to www.ucbi.com, click on the Business section, then click on Online and Mobile Banking. This page talks about the features of our online banking platform, gives information about mobile banking, gives resources about how to use online banking, how to enroll in online banking, about the secure access code that is used to authenticate you as you log into online banking, and browser requirements. If we go back to resources, there is an e-guide available that shows you a quick how to use business online banking and bill pay, business online banking training presentation, video tutorials on retail and commercial functions, on mobile banking, bill pay, and security, as well as Treasury Management quick reference guides. These are 2 to 3 page PDFs that will walk you through each one of these Treasury Management functions. In order to log into online banking, we come up to the online banking screen. We type in our login ID and our password and hit login. The next screen will be our secure access. So there are prearranged methods of receiving a secure access code. It is recommended that you use voice and text. In this case, I'm going to have it sent to my text. The secure access code is a 6-digit code that is a one-time use only, and it is valid for 15 minutes. If this is a computer that you normally use, you can click Register Device, and the next time you sign in, you will not need the secure access code. If this is a computer that you do not normally use, or you do not want to register the device and want to use the secure access code every time for extra security, click Do Not Register Device. This will log you in. Previous sessions have talked about basic online banking functions, such as viewing accounts, looking at history, looking at balances, doing transfers, and changing the settings within online banking. There's also been a session on how to do ACH payroll, payments, and tax payments, and another session on how to do ACH drafts and ACH debits. This session is on how to do a wire, domestic and international US dollar. In order to perform a wire, we'll go into the Commercial Functions section and go down to Payments. If you are converting from another bank, we have pulled over your template and recipient information from the bank conversion files. This will eliminate some of the keying that you may need to do. If you do end up using one of these templates by clicking on the Edit function and going through the screens, please verify the information before you do your final submission. To create a new wire, we'll go to New Payment and go to Domestic Wire. In this case, we want to do a wire to be processed. I'm going to do a future dated wire. And we're going to click New Recipient. We'll type in our information. I recommend that you do a wire separate from an ACH and have your recipient set up separately. So in this case, I'm only going to do a wire. Please remember that this physical address is required for all recipients of wires due to the Bank Secrecy BSA Act. So this is the recipient of my wire. And I will then click Next, and it will take me to a place where I can enter the information about the account itself. Again, I would recommend setting these up separately. Instead of trying to do an ACH wire, set up this as a wire only. We're going to type in our account information. This is not a valid account number. We can use this field, the financial institution search by name and routing number, to look up the routing number of the bank we're looking for. So in this case, I'm going to put in 06-111-2843, and it will search and find United Community Bank. Clicking here will save you the information so that you don't have to key in everything. If you need to route through a receiving FI or an intermediary bank information, that would be on the information that you received from the person that you were paying, the beneficiary. If you do not need to enter anything, you do not need to enter anything into this area. So if I want to use without save, I can go ahead and use this without saving it. Or if I want to save the recipient for future use as well, I would click on Save Recipient. So in this case, I'm going to save recipient. So it takes us back to this screen. It's already kept filled in with my future date because I want this wire to be sent on April 6th. Here's my recipient account information, my dollar amount. Need to check and be sure that I pull it from the correct subsidiary. In this case, my subsidiary is called Test Client. I choose the account that I want to pull from, and my message to my beneficiary. So any added payment information that needs to be sent to the recipient account Test Client. We can enter additional payment information if needed. So reference for beneficiary. So again, if I wanted to type in invoice 1234, done. Then I would click Next, be able to review the information that I'm sending. I can either draft it, meaning that it goes into a drafted status, or if you have the security approval, you can set it as an approve. If I draft, it will go into a drafted status, and then you can go into the Activity Center to review it. So I can click here to go to the Activity Center, or I can click Close and go to the Activity Center through Transactions and Activity Center. So here's the wire that we just created. If I needed to, I can review it. I can approve it here. I can cancel it. If I need to redo the wire, if I wanted to send the wire again at a later point, I could find this exact same wire and click Copy, and it would take me back into the wire function and allow me to redo the wire. So if I wanted to redo the wire again for the 13th, a week later, for a different dollar amount, and I wanted to maybe change the invoice number that I'm paying, update my reference for beneficiary, and click Done. So my process date is going to be on the 13th. Click Next, and here I'm going to go ahead and click Approve. This will then bring up the secure access code again because you are initiating a wire that is a transaction. So you use the secure access code to log in. You use the secure access code to initiate transactions. And click Verify. And it will come up and it will give you a reference number for this transaction. So payment has been approved for $2, and here's my reference number. So I can return to payments. And if I scroll down, you'll see all these templates are out here available for you to use. I can go back into my transactions, into my Activity Center, and here is a wire that's been drafted. Here is a wire that has been authorized. So the approval is 0 of 1. I need another person to come in and actually authorize or approve my transaction. But I'm not going to approve it right now. I want to show you that if the status is in a drafted or authorized state, you still have the ability to go in and click Cancel. So in this case, the $1 wire is now in a canceled status. This wire, which is future dated, is in an authorized status, I can still go in and cancel that transaction. So maybe I canceled it because it was for $2 and I actually need it to be for $3. So I can come in and copy it again, change this to $3, enter my additional payment information because it kept the message to beneficiary. Click Done. Notice that it's still going to process on April 13th, and click Approve. Get my secure access code again. Click Verify, and my transaction will be accepted. So payment approved, it's got a new reference number. I can go straight to the Activity Center. I can search for different transactions based on filters. Here's my wire for $3 in an authorized status, but I'm going to go ahead and cancel it. So the functionality is virtually the same for doing a international wire, except there's a little bit more information that's needed. So again, I'm going to go to Commercial Functions, I'll go to Payments, and I'll go to International Wire. I'll click on New Recipient since this is a brand new recipient. Again, I don't recommend doing a combination ACH wire template. In this case, I would have a separate wire template from ACH. Be sure that on these international wires that you choose the country that it's going to go to. So we're going to send this wire into the United Kingdom. Be sure you put the physical address for the recipient. Click Next. This is going to be a wire-only, international. I do recommend that if you have the international bank account number, that instead of doing just the IBAN, you do IBAN plus the SWIFT BIC. The BIC stands for Bank Identification Code. If you do not have an international bank account number, use the SWIFT BIC Bank Identification Code. So enter your information. If you need to route through a receiving FI or through an intermediate FI, you would enter that information. Otherwise, you can just save recipient. All that information is loaded. Type in your dollar amount, find your subsidiary, find the account number that you're going to pull from, and message. And put in your process date. So we'll change the process date up here to the 6th. That changes it here. Click Next, and you can again click Draft or Approve. In this case, I will click Approve. Have the secure access code sent to my text. And click Verify. So the payment has been approved, and I can return to payments, or I can visit the Activity Center. In the Activity Center, here's my wire for $5. Opening it up, I can see that all my information is here. I can come down here and I can watch as it's drafted, approved, authorized, and it's not yet processed because it is future dated. It's future dated for April 6th. Since I don't need this to process, I will go ahead and cancel it. And again, if I needed to, after doing that, if I come back to the Activity Center and I want to redo this wire, I can always use copy in order to redo that wire. Once you have finished all of your functions within online banking, be sure to click Log Off. This will close out the session, take you back to ucbi.com. And again, if you need to review any information, go to Business, go to Online and Mobile Banking, and under the Resources tab, you have all this information available on how to use our online and mobile banking platforms. Thank you for banking with United Community Bank, and we look forward to serving you.